Hey everybody, John here with No Ordinary Path. These are some of my favorite videos. It is a Real Talk Tuesday travel nurse takeover, and today I'm bringing you my review of Renown Medical Center in Reno, Nevada. All right, first things first, you guys. Yes, I'm in windy. It's dark. I apologize. I had full intentions of taking the camera and filming all this on campus, at least as close to campus as I could get. But I'm still learning this camera and I totally forgot the SD card. So here we are. All right, let's get right into it, okay? When you think of Reno, Nevada, and you're talking about the biggest little city in the United States, Renown owns the game there. They are the hospital system. I think there's one other one. I don't even know the name of it, you guys. That's what I'm talking about. When we drove into Reno, coming in from Phoenix, you started to see it on the outskirts. Renown has a very distinct purple colored logo sign, and it's all over the city. Everything in Reno is 20 minutes away from everywhere else. And I'm telling you, these places are all over. So let's dive right into the hospital. Renown is a level 2 large campus facility. There are places all over this. I'm going to throw some facts at you real quick. 946 beds, and I think there's even more now. Over 800 doctors, over 200,000 days of inpatient stays. They delivered more than 4,000 babies last year, and they have over 6,500 different employees, including nursing staff. When I say level 2, they are a level 2 as close to a level 1 as you can get. This place is the major trauma center between Sacramento and Salt Lake City. So yes, it's not a level 1, but it is as close to it as you can get. They see real trauma. So if you're an ER junkie or you're a critical care junkie, this is a great place to work. Just real quick about the ER for all my ER nurses that are traveling out there. Like I said, it's a trauma center. They're a stroke center. They are accredited chest pain center. They saw more than 100,000 patients last year. And yes, they do have 3 helipads. That's always near and dear to my heart. So CareFlight and I think RIMSA are some of the flight companies that work in this general region. And they will come into this place all the time, you guys. Helicopters are always landing. I hear them all the time. Another unique thing about this hospital system is it's not just like adult and geriatrics. They also have a full children's hospital and children's, emergency department. The whole shebang is right there on campus. It is very similar to what I worked at in Baltimore, Maryland at Sinai Hospital, and you can check it out up here. I think up here. I don't know. Kristen will have to fix it. I always point the wrong direction. So here. All right. In terms of the children's stuff, you guys, for my pediatric nurses out there, they do have a full-fledged emergency department. All the trauma, all that they can do, all the things there that they can for the adult side. It is a cancer institute for children. They do have heart surgery stuff for kids there, full surgical stuff. A PICU, it's an 11-bed facility. They do have a NICU as well. The NICU is a big deal. So I'm pretty sure this is a level 3, which is the highest level NICU there is. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I'm not a NICU nurse. But 39 beds. They have a 24/7 neonatal intensivist that's always there. And they have a really neat thing I thought was cool called the NIC View, which is basically this cool, pipe it on your cell phone or a tablet and you can look at your kids. If you have a baby in the NICU or if you know somebody that did, that is an exhausting but amazing kind of thing. And you can't always be there for them. So that's something I thought was neat. All right, let's move from kids back over to the adult side. Like I said, big hospital. So there's going to be all sorts of medical floors. There's tele, there's neuro, there's medical. I don't work up there much. I floated to tele a couple of times, but for the most part, not my thing. I can speak to the ICUs. So there are 4 ICUs there. They are named after the towers that they're in. So there's Roseview, Sierra Meadows, Sierra, and Tahoe. And I'm sorry, Renown, if I get that wrong. I think Tahoe is like the CICU. That's the cardiac ICU. They do a lot of heart surgeries, stuff like that. Sierra ICU is the trauma ICU. Guys, it's your typical trauma ICU. You have intensivists and trauma surgeons kind of run the show. They pick up the helicopters. They get all that stuff. Trauma ICU. There is the RICU ICU, the Roseview ICU, which is where I worked. And the Roseview has a sister ICU that is called the Sierra Meadows, and we'll talk more about that here in a minute. All right, so what I did specifically. Roseview ICU is kind of a medical / neuro ICU. 19 beds. It's a major typical ICU. You've got big glass door walls, big pillars in the center of the room with all of the little hookups and the cardiac monitors. There are intensivists that follow. They're there 24/7, including at night. So those night shift workers, you'll have those guys. During the days, there's also hospitalists. You have typical rounds with everybody. This is also a teaching hospital. So you do have UNR, which is the University of Nevada at Reno. It is a major medical school. They actually have classrooms and a whole area of the hospital just devoted to the medical school. Not a huge one. You will see some residents participate in rounds, but for the most part, it's still run everything by the intensivist and the trauma surgeons, depending on what ICU you are in. All right, so RICU does a lot of medical. They work really well together. One thing I would say about them that, if somebody's watching this, that they could improve upon is there are no lifts at all. We had one patient that we tried to get, a Hoyer on. It took like an hour and a half. They're kind of limited on them. They're not built into the ceilings. They don't have hover mats or anything that were available for us to use, and maybe they do have them, but I just never saw them, honestly. Sierra Meadows is their sister, which is kind of a neuromedical at the same time. The interesting thing about Sierra Meadows is that, first impressions make a lot. And I will say the first time I walked into this unit, it floored me a little bit because it's just curtains. There's no rooms. There's not as much supplies and stuff like that. But you know what? Great people, and you can do anything with a staff like they have. They hire great travelers, they hire great staff, and management there was great too. So I can't speak enough about that. Yeah, it was a good place to work, you guys. A couple other little extra things as I'm winding down with time here. As a travel assignment, not bad at all. I did float like 3 times to Tele 7 twice and once to the trauma ICU. I do know some other travelers in different ICUs that floated a little bit more than that, so it kind of just depends on where you're working. I did go back and forth regularly between that Roseview and the Sierra Meadow ICU because they kind of take the same patients. They're the same management. It's essentially the same ICU in 2 different locations. There is a pretty significant test that you're going to take for Renown. I don't know if it's ICU specific. I don't know if it's, just for ICU nurses or what, but it's not an easy one. I did fine on it, but it gave me pause. I didn't ace the thing. So it's not like some of these other ones out there that you can just breeze through. Be prepared to, take some time and do it right, because I know that they missed some people didn't get the job because they failed to pass the test. So it's not easy. Be prepared for it. That pretty much wraps it up, you guys. I'm trying to keep it short and sweet as always for these videos for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed working at Renown. I would totally go back there. I would totally take my family there if they needed treatment. Great place to work. They hire really good people. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please hit the like button. That helps out a lot for us. And subscribe if you haven't. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We thank you for being here. And yeah, I got some more cool travel nurse stuff coming out soon, so keep an eye out for that, and we'll see you out there.